Welcome to Let's Talk Jailbreak episode number 15. I am your host, Jeff Benjamin, with my co-host, Sebastian Page. Sebastian, how you doing?
I'm doing just dandy, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing terrible. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, I'm doing good too. It's a good day. Got some things going on later with some friends, and now I'm just trying to get some work done.
Yep. Let's get the jailbreak out of the way so we can go hang out with friends, right?
Yeah. So, the big thing today, obviously, is Pod2G. He makes this, I guess you could call it an announcement on Twitter. He says, and I quote, "After a few days of iOS 7 Beta 1 testing, I must admit that I'm about to switch to an Android device." What do you think about that?
I think it's a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Does that make sense here? Can you say that in this case?
Yeah.
But I think that's what it is. I think he's just talking without really thinking too much about what he's saying. And not only did he say that he is, he's willing to switch to a new device, to an Android device, but he's saying like he's disappointed in the features he's seen in iOS 7, and there's no big news, and the design is awful, and battery life is terrible, and there's bugs and it crashes, which is very surprising for a beta version. Of course, I'm being sarcastic here. So
the thing about this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. I was just gonna say, I think he's just speaking very quickly, and he doesn't really measure the importance of what he just said.
Yeah, and the thing about this, it would be different if like Pod2G was just a jailbreak developer, and he was someone who only did jailbreak stuff, and he only, not even that, but he only just created the exploits, or he worked on the exploits involved. But
right. Here's
a person that has made iOS apps. Like, he's made an iOS app. I remember beta testing one of his apps. And It's like, if you have the perspective of a developer, it's just caught me off guard that you would say something like that when you know what it takes to create a stable application. Like, know the process involved. And this is much more ambitious than just a single app. I mean, this is an entire operating system. So to call out its bugs or crashes, I mean, it's just a little surprising that he would do that. But again, like you said, all of us make mistakes. I mean, it's knee-jerk.
And I mean, me first, when last Monday when Apple unveiled my OS 7 for the first time and we really saw what it was looking like, I just, took to Twitter, and that's my first place to go and rant about anything, really. And I was kind of complaining about the icons, for example, and the UI and a few different things. And then, like, later that night, like that last Monday night, I was like, what did I just say? This is just stupid. This is very idiotic comments, So I went back there and I deleted them because after thinking about it, it just didn't make sense. Yes, the icons are not very pretty and they could be better, but anything else, when you really think about it, I think Apple did a pretty darn good job with iOS 7, and it might not be the revolution that some of us are waiting for, in terms of maybe opening up a little bit more, but this is Apple, and there's no surprise here, We didn't expect them to open up and let us, run Cydia on our devices right off the box. So I think, like, before complaining about iOS 7, you should take these things into account. And maybe you should also leave the bad UI or the bad icons, because I really think the UI is gorgeous on iOS 7. The icons are kind of ugh. But I think you need to think about it before talking about it.
Yeah, and design is one thing. And I can understand some people just aren't going to like the new direction of the design. Right. I, for one, was one of those people at first. But as you stated, it's grown on me. And it's not as bad as it was at first to me. I mean, I kind of like it. It actually looks more modern than current iOS.
I was talking about it with my friend the other day and this weekend, and I feel like I'm a grown-up now with iOS 7. when I go in the settings, and the settings app is probably the most iconic app on the iPhone because it's the one that takes full usage of the new UI, you know. You get your new icons and the white space and the gray space, and I don't, if I have iOS 6 in my left hand and iOS 7 in my right hand, I feel like iOS 6 is for my daughter and iOS 7 is for me because I'm an adult, and it's a more polished, a more modern and classy UI. But of course, we're talking about design here, and this is a very, as often, very subjective matter. If I think blue and gray go well together, you might not agree with that, and that's fine. That's how it works. But it looks that's the direction Apple is taking, and whether or not you're fine with it, you're gonna have either to suck it up or change your device.
Right, and I don't have a problem so much with chastising the design because, like you said, it is subjective. Not everyone is going to like iOS 7, and it's going to take a while for some of us to come around completely to the changes. But if you're a developer, you really shouldn't knock you shouldn't knock a beta for having bugs. You shouldn't knock it for crashing. You shouldn't knock it for being slow. You shouldn't knock it for battery life. Design is one thing, but knocking the fundamentals behind a developer beta publicly on Twitter when you have how many followers?
Several hundred thousand.
Yeah,
I would think.
500,000. I don't know, but it's just not fair to Apple. Like, you're doing them a disservice, and you're doing, I think, the community. I think it makes them even more obstinate towards jailbreaking. Like, it could potentially make Apple even more like, wow, these guys are. It's not cool that they're
right
bashing, and you're such a public figure, and yet, you're a huge public figure, so that just comes with the territory. We have to watch what we say. And
yes, but again, I think his main grip is that iOS 7 is not opening more. Cyril Pod2G was the one who started this Twitter hashtag. We won't open an open iOS or something like this. So he's a real proponent of opening up.
Right,
we know that,
Apple,
and I think that was his main point.
It's
and
Apple. It's Apple.
I know, right?
We know this. Like, he's been around for a long time. He knows it's Apple. It's not Google. Apple doesn't do that. That's just when Tim Cook said that they may open up things a little bit. He wasn't talking about running Cydia on your device. He was talking about stuff like Siri and integrating third-party apps with Siri, and what we see with Vimeo on iOS now, and Flickr or whatever. That's the direction that I took. And I'm not knocking Pod2G. He's a great guy. He's super nice. Like I said, beta tested his app. Good designer. Good, just overall good guy. But I hope he doesn't leave. Because we need, this community is super benefited by his presence there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You want to talk about some jailbreak stuff?
Sure, I do, yeah.
Okay. There's been literally like a deluge of tweaks come out in the last week or so, and a lot. But of course we can't cover them all, so I just picked out a good handful, some of the more popular ones. Obviously the big one, Auxo for iPad. I know we kind of talked about it in the last, or maybe 2 episodes ago.
Right.
But it's out. I reviewed it. I kind of feel bad for Century, man. Don't you?
Why is that?
Because it's like the timing of the release couldn't be worse.
Yeah, well, he's the one who chose when this tweak was going to be released. He didn't choose the exact minute, but he chose the day where was going to be released. So you can't really feel bad for him.
I don't feel bad. They've had plenty of success, but if it would have been just released, a couple of weeks, maybe a month earlier, there would have been. I just feel it didn't get as much shine as it should have.
Yeah, because obviously it was stuck in the iOS 7 news and all that good stuff.
And not only that, but iOS 7 kind of takes, Auxo, and like we talked about on our
jailbreak post. I think it pushes Auxo. It pushes the limit, not the limits, but it makes a better app switcher out of it, I think.
Yeah,
in iOS 7.
Right. So I'm kind of debating, if we do get an iOS 7 jailbreak soon after it's released publicly, then will I use Auxo? Oh. I'm kind of I don't know. The thing that I'm still always coming back to is the fact that you can only see 3 apps at once. So, that's something to consider as well. But then again, you don't get the whole full screen like Auxo. Just Auxo for iPad, it's a really, really good release. It was built from the ground up. I mean, there's specific ways that the tweak reacts on an iPad as opposed to the iPhone. It takes advantage of the bigger screen, the more real estate. And I think you'll like it, Sebastian, because...
Well, I already have it on my iPad mini.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know you had beef with the iPhone version because of how hard it was to make out the apps that were running. What do you think about this one?
I kind of have the same problem with this one. I'm sorry, but I do. I thought Auxo for iPad would take advantage of the bigger screen and not only, display a screenshot of the running apps, but make the app icon as big as it is, on a stock iOS. As it is, Auxo for iPad still shows you, it's a bigger screenshot of the app, but the app icon is still too small for me. It still takes me a fraction of a second or a second to figure out what I'm doing in here. Or not what I'm doing, but what I'm looking for. And I've been using it for, I think, a week. I think when did it launch? I got it the day it launched, actually, I think. So I've had it for over a week, and I'm forcing myself to use it because, I want to make an informed decision before, deciding to take it off or not of my iPad. But it's not working great for me. I mean, in functions, in the way it's designed, it's developed, it's working great. I have experienced no crashing, no lag, no anything. Then it's just the way it looks. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, well, I love it. I mean, I've been using it since day one, and I think it's great to be able to. Of course, you can't make out exactly what's running on the page, but you get a good context of what's going to happen when you touch that app icon. And I think the app icons they are bigger. I see your point.
They are bigger than they are on the iPhone, but they are smaller than they are on a stock app switcher.
Right, I'd say they're about 50% smaller. But I think that if there was a not better, but just more distinct shadow around the app icon, then it may not blend in as much with the full screen preview, and that may make it a little more easy to discern for you, maybe. But maybe it is just completely size based.
They could satisfy me so easily with Auxo by giving me the option in the settings to disable app screenshots, and basically make the app icons the same size.
Like slide to kill. Pretty much.
Yeah.
But you also have the nice redesigned music app, music toggles.
Yeah, this is nice. This is very nice. I like it. It's, I've got all my controls in one place, and it's very well done. I like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's also for iPad. It is available right now for $1.99 on Cydia's Big Boss repo.
Yeah, and I think if you purchase the Auxo for iPhone, it's only 99 cents.
Tis true.
So yeah, people should give it a try and see what they think for themselves.
What else do we have, Sebastian?
Let me see. We've got a tweak called Overview. And I can't seem to find it on my computer here. Oh, here it is, of course, on the last page. So it's a new tweak by Alan Yip, the developer of Tap to Widgets, and it allows you to manage mail, reminders, and events all in one place in the notification center. You checked out this tweak earlier this week. You made a video out of it. Can you walk us through it and tell us what's about?
You did a really good job explaining that. And it's basically like a widget that runs in your notification center, and you can swipe through your different events, calendar events. You can swipe through your new emails that you receive, your reminders. There's links to the full apps and it just gives you a nice high-level overview of what's going on in your day. Hence the name, Overview. I didn't even think that up.
Yep, that's one of these tweaks that you really need to see. I really suggest you check it out on IDB, because Jeff made a pretty good video. That's one of these visual tweaks. You can talk about it all day, but until you actually see it in action, it doesn't really make sense. When you see it in action, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. That's what it does, and that's how it works, and that's why I need it or not. Yeah. And what I like with this tweak is that it works hand in hand with tap to widgets as well, which is one of my favorite jailbreak tweaks.
Yeah, it allows you to access the tap to widget shortcuts directly from within Overview.
Yeah, it is very well thought through and carried out. It's a good design and good development here.
Alan Yip is one of my favorite I won't say new because he's been around for a while, but he's definitely top 10 developers on Cydia for me.
Good. What else do we have here?
Let's see. We have Screenshot Plus. This is good for bloggers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Would you think about using this?
I would. I'm going to tell you though, most of the time when I need to take a screenshot or a partial screenshot, I just, take the screenshot, email it to myself, open it on my iMac, and then I crop whatever I need in there.
Right.
But this is a pretty nice way to do it, without the need of a computer or anything like that, and it looks very simple. So basically, what does it do? Basically, you can set up an activator gesture to launch Screenshot Plus, and then you select the area on your screen of what you want to screenshot, right? So you can say, I want, for example, with your finger, you can drag a square or rectangle around the videos and maps application if you just want to screenshot these two icons, or, you can do pretty much whatever you want. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, so you basically just use some drag handles that are on the home screen, or it doesn't have to be on a home screen, anywhere on your device.
Yeah.
You use Activator to initiate it, and then you hit a little button right there on the screen that allows you to take the screenshot, and they're already pre-cropped, ready to go, ready to upload. Screenshot Plus, 99 cents, Cydia's Big Boss repo.
Yeah, and it's a great tool if you're a blogger, or if, maybe a designer or something, you have to deal with a lot of screenshots on your iPhone. That's very handy, I think.
Yes, it is. Wallpaper Cycler. That is the next tweak on the docket. This is a jailbreak tweak that it's interesting because it goes out to Tumblr, pulls images from Tumblr, and assigns those to your background wallpaper. And it does so by means of tags that you can assign in the settings and the preferences for the tweak. So you install Wallpaper Cycler, go into the stock settings app, go to the preferences panel for Wallpaper Cycler, put in the tags of the images that you want to pull up. For instance, you can, type in, Volkswagen if you like VWs, and it'll pull up random images that are tagged to that name, Volkswagen.
Right. So my question is, and I wasn't sure I understood this, does it pull out wallpapers that are scaled for the iPhone 5, or it just pulls like any image?
It seems like it's just any image, and it reformats it, like it stretches it if necessary. So the wallpapers don't look all that great most of the time.
Okay.
But it's a nice little surprise. It's like the Cracker Jack box. You reach in there.
Yeah, I like the concept. I think there could be some tweaking in the way it's working. It should only pull wallpapers or images that are a certain size, maybe, or because I don't want to have like a stretched out, pixelized wallpaper on my iPhone 5. No one does really.
They don't look terrible, but obviously they're not like Retina ready and ready to go like that. So I think that would be really hard to do, actually. Just thinking about like trying to go out. Not only is it pretty intensive, I would think, on things to go out to Tumblr and grab those. Then you got to download them. You have to save it as the wallpaper. It just seems like a very intensive thing. Like if you were going to have specs in the tweak to make sure it was formatted these dimensions, or I don't know. I'm not a programmer, so.
But I would think on Tumblr, there's probably several Tumblr out there that are focused on iPhone wallpapers. I'm sure there are dozens of tumblers out there just for iPhone wallpapers, so they could just scan these, or I don't know. I don't know.
But then you would be
maybe I'm just didn't understand
then you would be
correctly.
significantly limiting your ability to use certain tags.
Right.
So the whole concept here is just to
be
be able to type any tag you want and be able to get something related to that.
Yeah.
It's a nice tweak, but it's not for everybody, I don't think. I wouldn't want to just have random stuff come up on my device. I want to know what's going to be there.
Yeah, it could be very embarrassing too sometimes if you get the wrong image in there.
You can download it for 99 cents on Cydio's Big Boss repo. It is Wallpaper Cycler. What's up? What else we got?
Activator got a new Activator beta. Got a new update this past week. We are currently at version 1.7.5 beta 8.
We're at 9 actually now. I just posted a video. Well, I will be posting a video.
And so this beta release gains an interesting action that is triggered by email. So that was pretty interesting. Again, you checked it out. Can you tell us more about it?
Basically, you could set up Activator to listen to incoming emails in your stock mail app. It will actually create a rule for the subject line in the email or the sender of the email. And if you receive an email with that particular configured subject line or the sender, it will perform the action that you configure with to that particular trigger. That makes sense?
It does make sense. I've been thinking about it, and I've been thinking about ways that I would be able to use this. And I can't really find any way I would be able to use this. The only thing I would come up with, and that's not even something I would really use, is to send myself, for example, an email and create this rule in Activator, of course. I would send myself an email that says reboot or respring, which would trigger a reboot or a respring. But that's the only things I could come up with. Have you thought about it? Do you have better triggers out there that you can think of?
I was thinking a good one, and this is probably not something that's possible right this second, but a good one would be if you received an email from a specific contact, then it can make something like the LED flash, flash, or I don't know, some kind of audible tone, or make the device do something. Check for specific, if you're waiting on a super important email, or there's a client that you have out there that you're waiting on their email, you can make the device do something based on that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or you can even launch the mail application. If you're waiting for a certain email from someone, just do, if your phone is sleeping or whatever,
right.
And if you're pulling the email in the background, obviously, just launch the mail application, and that's a call that you should pick it up because the important email you were waiting for is here. Yeah. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and the thing about this, this is beta. This has so much potential. Email's one thing, but think about messages. If you received an iMessage or an SMS text, and it was able to listen for that, and your wife sends you a text that she's on her way home, or I don't know. I think the potential here is very, very high for these triggers. It's sort of like Outlook rules.
Yeah.
So I just think that this is just the beginning. I think Ryan has probably a lot more in store for that. So it'd be interesting to see. Not only this, though, in the new version, which is beta 9, there's some new features there as well. You have the ability now with this latest version of Activator, which is, by the way, available on Ryan's beta repo. Do you remember the address to that?
I think it's rpetri.ch/repo. So rpetri.ch/repo.
Right. Yeah, and we'll have it obviously in the post on IDB. But now you can actually assign multiple actions to an event. Yeah.
Oh, so you can, okay, I got it. Instead of having Activator do one thing, when you double tap, the status bar, you can do 2 or 3 things.
You can actually chain them together. Like you can order the order that they perform. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Ryan certainly don't lack any imagination, or he is a very prolific guy, and he's been working a lot on this activator lately. I'm glad to see this. One thing I hope he would do with activator is figure out the settings.
It's funny that you mentioned
a mess in there.
I think he listens to this podcast. I don't know, something tells me he does, because with the new version of activator, you can make certain groups collapsible by default. So instead of overflowing after a certain number of actions, you can actually collapse them. For instance, the settings app, or not settings app, but the settings section, the list of actions for settings that open up various setting panels, you can actually collapse that now.
Finally. Didn't we talk about this last week or a couple of weeks ago? I suggested there should be some kind of feature like this. I think we did, yeah. So that's good. I don't know if he's listening to us.
I think he
is. That's great.
Something tells me.
I wouldn't be surprised. So, hi, Ryan.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, so Activator, it's just going to keep getting better. And looking forward to the final, 1.7.5, public release. But
yeah, and it's still free. That still amazes me.
Yeah, there are ads at the bottom of Activator. I wish, because those ads do annoy me a little bit. I wish he would have like they do on App Store apps, where you could pay 99 cents and get rid of the ads. I would gladly do that.
Yeah, get the upgrade. Yeah.
I would pay $4.99 because this thing I've used it so much. I'd be willing to pay that. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would. It's a very useful tweak that pretty much every jailbreaker has on his iPhone, I would think.
What else do we have here?
Well, you talked about this week about Pebble Activator, which executes activator actions with a Pebble watch. I don't have one of these. I was not able. I don't even have much interest in it. So what you can do, you can draw gestures on your watch.
No.
Okay. I was like, this is not what I'm thinking here, right?
Yeah, there's 3 buttons on the watch, and you can tap, press one of the buttons to execute an activator action.
Okay.
So the first, second, or third button you can press. Now, with the new update to Pebble Activator, you can actually press and hold. So you have up to 6 different gestures that you can use wirelessly over, Bluetooth or whatever Pebble uses to execute things on your device. Really powerful stuff when you think about it. If you're a Pebble watch owner and you're not jailbroken, then sorry, because this is super cool.
Have you seen a Pebble before? In real life, not on the computer. Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Me neither.
I'm glad I didn't fork in the $150 or whatever they wanted for it. It's just, and I guess it's not about the look of it. It's just about, it's a nice technological advance, I assume. But it just doesn't.
I wasn't a big fan at first, but with the ability to use Activator, then it's certainly intriguing. It got a lot more intriguing to me than it was at first. I would actually consider using one now that it has Activator support. That's really cool. I feel like Superman or something. Batman.
All right, so something tells me in a week or two we're gonna have a video. Okay, I cracked. I did it.
I don't know. We'll see. Our last item here on the docket is iOS 7 control toggle icons from Shurnix.
Yeah, our good friend Shurnix came up with this over the weekend. I installed it on my iPhone. So what it does really, it brings the icons of iOS 7, the iOS 7 toggles to iOS 6.
Yes.
It looks good. It's a simple tweak. It's not one to call home about, but it sure looks good, and it's free. The only thing I have against it is that the icons are a little small on my maybe because I'm used to seeing the big ones on iOS 7 now, in Control Center. On my iPhone, they do look a little small. And if, like me, you have the stock gray linens as the background of Notification Center, which I should probably update, the black icons on the gray linens don't stand out much. So maybe I should really get probably this tweak by Ryan as well, which grays out the background, right? What's it called? Is it by Ryan? By Ryan?
Yeah,
Patrick?
Fast Blur NC Center or something.
Here you go. That's the one I was thinking about. Yes.
Very good combination. I like iOS control toggle icons. It's very nice looking, and the thing about this is that it really helps you to appreciate how beautiful iOS 7 really is. I know a lot of people knock it, but it really is. A lot of it is beautiful. A lot of it looks good. Not all the icons are great, but
most of it look good. And really, the only gripe I have is these icons. Like the app icons, and even that, most of them are really nice. Like, look at the calendar icon on iOS 7.
I like the stocks. Icon.
My favorite is the calendar icon. It's just I think it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, Photos isn't bad either.
Photos is very nice as well. Yes.
Yeah. I don't even think Safari is that terrible, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't like the white border.
Yeah.
In the settings, I think that's really terrible. Looks like a top-down view of a new Mac Pro.
Yeah. My least favorite, I'm going to tell you, is the iTunes Store one. I just can't get over this one.
You can't get over that.
No, I can't.
You're scarred for life.
Yeah. All right. I'm in Cydia right now, and I'm looking for Fast Blurred Notification Center, and I'm going to install it right now. But, I haven't used my iPhone 5 with iOS 6 for this past week. I've been using iOS 7 every day.
How do you like it?
I love it. Well, I've got the random crashes every once in a while.
Right.
But about once a day. It just crashes about once a day. And it always seems to be related to messages app. Like, it seems like when I get like 2 or 3 at a time or something like that, it just crashes. But battery is very decent, I would say. And the only thing I'm really missing is quick reply for messages. Everything else, I'm just fine like this.
Yeah, I think you would get. I think if Apple puts quick reply in, that's gonna really make a difference.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put it past them to actually do it in a future beta version. Okay, so I've got Fast Blurred Notification Center here. It looks very nice, very iOS 7-ish.
Yeah.
Very nice.
You know what?
What?
I would really... You know what would make an excellent quick reply?
What?
A Spotlight.
Oh.
Replace Spotlight with quick reply.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a feature. That's a jailbreak feature here, though. I mean,
that would be amazing. Mm-hmm. Really. It really would. Like, you pull down to reveal, like, just like Spotlight is on iOS 7, and then you just select your contact right there where it says search.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or you can just type the name of the contact or whatever. And any new messages could be like there, or somehow you can access them using that swipe down. I don't know. I'm sure someone will take that and run with it.
Yeah, someone will figure it out once we get a jailbreak for iOS 7. If we get a jailbreak for iOS 7.
Maybe I'll mock that up. Who knows?
Go for it.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
No, Jeff, I think we covered everything for this week.
I think so too.
Yeah. It's been a busy week, and
yes, it has.
And I think this episode is going to be one of the shortest ones so far.
I don't know about that. What time is it? Like Well,
I think
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, I wouldn't say that. It would be middle of the road.
Right. The first 3 episodes we had were very short because we tried to make a point to keep them like around 30 minutes. And then we were having so much fun. We're like, yeah, we can talk more. You know, we have time.
Oh, I could talk more. I just can't talk more. But I could talk more. I could talk for another hour on iOS 7 alone.
I know. I just want to keep talking about it.
Yeah. I could go another hour on Pod2G's tweet.
Right.
Any parting shots?
Not that I can think of. So I leave it to you to do the parting shot.
Well, you guys take care. It's been nice hanging with you. Again, if you have any questions or anything, use the hashtag Let's Talk Jailbreak on Twitter. Ask your question, and on the next episode, we will try our best to feature your question on the show. Thank you for tuning in. This has been your host, Jeff Benjamin, my co-host, Sebastian Page. Let's Talk Jailbreak, episode 15. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.